finally come to it, Austin. We finally get
It's
to
been
have our night.
postponed. It's been postponed like 4 times.
Yes. We were hoping to have one of an extra buddy over here, but unfortunately, he's dealing with issues. But hey, me and Austin are still plenty big Massiverse fans to talk about it enough for an hour or two. So
I still hope that he can make it to the end of the war. I hope when the war ends, he comes to the age.
hopefully. Yep. Do.
Oh my god, man! I can't believe. I still can't
Mm-hmm.
believe it's finally happened.
So many characters, so many amazing characters off this massive verse, and honestly, this is the first time I actually had to take notes just so I could better remember all the characters. Because they're all Massiverse is just such a rich in diversity, and by diversity I mean there are different stories, there are different characters. One deals with supernatural, the other deals with multiverse, the other deals with street crimes, this and that.
Yeah,
You know.
you get your noir feel, you get your superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It basically covers every major faucet for a comic book series. Really, you have a
Yep.
taste for a comic, you can find something here you might like.
Yep. And even the legacy thing is a huge thing here because you're going to be seeing that in a lot of these books. There are multiple generations of these heroes, you know?
It's kind of crazy.
Hmm. And it's just a testament to how big this whole Massiverse is because hey, keep in mind they're trying. This is Image trying to do the whole shared universe thing, and this is working for them. This is selling. It's
I just wonder how
interesting.
long they're gonna let these writers keep it in their own little area
Uh
before like the major image comic book crossover happen and just throw all these characters into like the main full universe with all their other stuff.
huh. Oh man. Well, let's just hope. Let's just hope we could keep this momentum going for a bit longer.
Yep.
Hmm. So
Uh,
yeah.
for people who don't know, the Massiverse is a subgenre of image comics by Kyle Higgins.
Hmm.
Higgins was the writer for Power Rangers, the latest Power Ranger series, uh, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Go 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 Power Rangers when they started. I think in like 2018, 2017,
Yep. Which is a
whenever
which
those
is.
comics restarted. He wrote that and then decided to do his own take on Power Rangers in a way. And
Hmm.
so far, I want to say it's been successful.
Yep. There's no character or story here in here that we hate, but when you're talking about a list of characters you like, some of them are on the top, some of them have to be on the bottom by unanimous decision. So.
That's just how it happens.
Hmm. Okay, ready to introduce ourselves, Austin?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to Comic Fanatic Live for our massive verse discussion. You're here with me, Cryptid Zeker 415. While some may
And
like
Ace
Radiance, I prefer a rogue.
Ace Comics, Austin. I've been missing for a little bit, but I'm back now. I had some personal issues, but it's all
Hmm.
good now, and we're ready to go ahead and schedule.
Cool. And you can also follow us on our socials on Comic Fanatic 2.0 in our Discord, in our Instagram, and Comic Fanatic 69 in our Twitter or our X, whichever it's calling itself nowadays. So,
You
yeah.
know what? If we get big enough, we'll have a Discord for y'all.
Yay. Gotcha. But with that, let's get started, and I'll kick this off with our discussion on Radiant Pink. Now, who may you ask is Radiant Pink? She's a young girl by the name of Eva who is an influencer. I mean, a rather popular influencer. Like, dude, she made a
Hmm.
charity live stream that ranked in what, like $1 million to give to this local hospital. or something like that.
Yeah,
Damn.
she's a high class Twitch streamer.
There you go. I think she goes by Eva Plays or something like
Yep,
that. And it's so funny because she puts herself as the host, and nobody knows that she's Radiant Pink. It's like she pre-records her recording sessions of her introducing Radiant Pink and asking her questions, and while Radiant Pink goes on an actual live, you know.
yep,
hmm As far as who more do you need to know about the character? You know, she's young, she's Hispanic, she's queer. She has a girlfriend in this series who later becomes her arch nemesis. Who doesn't love those stories, right? Where your greatest love ends up becoming your most hated enemy. You know?
yep,
But anyway, as far as her powers go, she can open portals, but she can't really span these portals. There's only so much she could do at once, and they do tend to tire her out. But when it comes to like long distance portals, those tend to tire her out the most. She only had like a 5-issue miniseries to my best recollection, and
yep.
what I gotta say is she has a very bubbly personality. Like, I don't know how a person could hate her. She's kind, she's sweet, she's as sweet as a cinnamon bun, you know? Um, in her first adventure, the charity she was giving money to ends up getting attacked by this organization, and that's where you're introduced to her future girlfriend, Kelly, right? Who, unbeknownst to Radiant Pink, was working for an organization that was there to take her powers. So she was strapped with like this one technological vest that was taking Radiant Pink's powers the closer she was to her without her knowing. But unfortunately, this was experimental, and this kind of screwed up a little bit of Radiant Pink's powers to the point where they actually teleported to another planet. Just, her and Kelly, right? And
Luckily
as far
enough,
as,
this place had oxygen.
oh yeah, I mean, luckily enough that they had cat alien people. Yeah.
I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that.
I know it's not. I know there might be some serious tones. I mean, yes, this book does end in the slaughter, but I'll get to that later. But for the most part, again, a bubbly story. Two lovebirds in far off space adventures, trying to get back home, learning more about each other, and knowing and realizing they have deeper feelings for one another. So yeah, eventually they do make their way back to their home, but this is where Kelly has to, go back to her superiors, right, to kind of report as to what happened, this and that. I mean, Radiant Pick at this point, she is aware as to what Kelly did, what she tried to do. Kelly deeply regrets it. They end up, reconciling to themselves their feelings. Damn, I can't believe Witch isn't reading this book, to be honest. Like, this would
That's
be
the one
something he
we
would do.
recommended The Witch, but I recommended The Witch like at least 3 times.
Yeah.
But just like Turkey, Witch was not buying it for some reason, even though it gives a
Oh,
lot of what
man.
Witch wanted in the book and TV show.
hmm Hey, has good representation and all that stuff, which is something you gotta applaud with a lot of these characters. So, yeah, once they get back, Kelly reports to her two superiors, who were specifically there at the night, they attacked the charity auction, and that's when she basically gives them her pink slip. Like, she no longer wants to have to work with them. She wants to do better in her life. She wants to settle down with Radiant Pink. But her two superiors are like, oh, no, 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 that is not how this goes. You can't just turn back. I mean, you can't just turn in the vest we gave you. No, literally, she can't turn it in. Like, that thing is fused to her body now. Like, So they're like,
You
okay.
think you'll realize that when they put it on you, that it won't come off. But
It was an experimental suit, so anyway, so upon realizing that, yeah, they're not going to just let her go, she slaughters them, and
yep,
that's when Radiant Pink comes in and sees what she's done, and she is saddened, she is heartbroken, she can't believe what she saw her girlfriend, what her girlfriend was capable of, and she realizes this isn't going to work. I'm sorry, we can't be together, and this and that, and a fight happens between the two. And in the midst of the fight, this is what I like about all the characters, right? You kind of see them grow not just as characters, but grow as well as their powers, you know? For any of you guys who like your good anime, you know, of course, after a good fight, they get a new power or ability or something like that. In the midst of the
yeah.
fight,
It,
mhm,
great power progression.
there you go, great power progressions, which is something you're going to see a lot of when we talk about the rest of the characters here. So in the midst of the fight, like Radiant Pink finds out that she can actually make like clones of herself. Um, you know, light clones. Um,
What that has to do with making portals, I can't tell you.
I have no idea. Like maybe you could, maybe she's just it's radiance, light energy or whatever.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna reveal that. Oh no, making portals is just a byproduct of your actual power with like
Hmm.
controlling light or something.
Hey, if you want to go brutal, you could go all Doctor Strange in Infinity War and slice people with those portals. Like,
That's true as well.
yep. But anyway, the fight was long, and eventually Radiant Pink does get the upper hand on Kelly, but she can't bring herself to, you know, kill her or even see her thrown in jail because, you know, she's too crazy, too powerful. Radiant Pink tells it to herself that it's the vest that's like scrambling her mind to make her more aggressive. So for the time being, Radiant Pink ends up just teleporting her into the world where they first met each other, and just leaves her there. You know, and for the time being, Radiant Pink is like, look, okay. As far as her influence life goes, she ends her book off by saying, you know, she wants to take some time off to focus on her mental health and this and that. She's been through a lot. So, yeah, that's pretty much how her story ends. I don't know what other book
Oh
she
yeah,
popped up on. I mean, I know she debuted in Radiant Black, though. Hmm.
yeah. I'm gonna talk about her a little bit in Radiant Black because she's helping out in the war right now.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's the next time we'll see her. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh yeah, just so people know, the planet that she left her on is really nice. It's like it's a really beautiful planet. She has food and all the other stuff. You don't have to worry about her leaving, like seeing leave this girl die or something. This girl's gonna be fine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, think of like a nice romantic alien planet you could go to, you know? Love is in the air. It's almost like the Avatar world. That's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who wouldn't want to go to Pandora, wherever it
Mhm.
was called?
Yep. That's the place. And again, you know, with Radiant Pig, I just see her as a bubbly personality that I really like. Although I can't help but like notice. Oh, someone just popped up. Jake, what's going on, man?
Hello.
Hey, ready to join the Massiverse?
I mean, we'll see. You guys got to convince me.
Uh,
He
we
was
tr- we
he
tried
was too
to.
busy Alan sleeping with Alan woke.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
been.
That Alan Woke 2 game. By the way, I should have said it's Alan Wake 2. I'm just this is what I think. But yeah, it was not as great as it people said it was, or maybe it gets better. I
Mhm.
don't know. So
No, no, that's why I didn't like the first one. Jake, I'm telling you now, it's gonna take a long time for it to get like actually started. Like you might get one hype thing like another hour,
okay.
but after that, it's still gonna be like slow burn stuff for a minute. Like that's the type of game this guy makes.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I think the first one just had better storytelling beats, but I don't know.
Yeah. So.
Well, it started faster, to be fair.
Yeah, so, but yeah, not
But
conversation. So,
But yeah, I mean, as far
but
as
I agree with everything you said, Cryptid, about her. To be honest, she's pretty good, and her personality, everything carries over into Radiant Black.
Mm-hmm.
So even
Well,
go ahead.
one thing I wanted to say about her character is I couldn't help but notice how she kind of like surface level things kind of remind me of another character, like the fact that Eva is queer, she's Latina, and her power is open portals. I'm thinking, who does this remind me of? Like, you know,
You're gonna have to tell me. I'm blanking. You're gonna have to tell me. I'm blanking.
America Chavez.
Oh,
I was like,
dude, I told you, I had no idea what you were talking about the whole time.
I remember when I was bringing this up to Witch knew immediately who I was talking about. You know.
But nah, now that you're saying it, like other than personality, I can see it to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Their personality is just the main different thing, unless you kind of like the movie version.
Yeah, definitely. But
But
yeah, again, audience, it's only a 5-issue miniseries. Go and support this book. She's a nice, lovable character, you know.
oh yeah, I'll bring it up too. For anyone that's interested, the only two like actually ongoing books is Radiant Black and Rogue Sun.
Mm-hmm.
No one is a 10-issue miniseries, and all the rest of them are 5 or 3-issue miniseries. So it's not a long read for most of them if you're interested in some of these stories.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But now I guess it's my turn, and we're going to Radiant Red.
Cool.
Radiant Red was introduced as a villain in Radiant Black way before miniseries came out. So I had to go a little bit into Radiant Black to explain that. So Radiant Black originally was a man named Nathan. Nathan's Radiant Black's powers is basically gravity control, and there's 3 different levels to his power. But around issue 2 or 3, Nathan fought Radiant Red, and Radiant Red killed Nathan for a while, and they had to bring him back to life, and he lost his power. And that's how the current Radiant Black Marshall got the ability, and why he's been Radiant Black since issue 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But so your first introduction of her murdering the main character of Radiant Black, basically, then bring him back to life, and then Marshall beating the dog crap out of her.
Hi, Comic Con.
And
yay, nice to have you here, man.
oh yeah, I can't see because I'm looking at the comments.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, Comic Con. We're doing Gen V should end next week, right? I believe next week's the end of Gen V. So me and Jake, we'll have to catch up before next Thursday, and we'll do that next Thursday. Because Comic Con was asking about that 2 weeks ago or something. But so you find out why she Radiant Black stopped her from robbing a bank, and you find out in her book why she was robbing a bank. Radiant Red, despite what she looks like when you first see her, and in her costume, is a woman. In costume, the character herself is already kind of tested, but when she get like her powers on, and then she starts walking up, you'll just legit think she's a man. Like she's not trans or anything. It just that's a byproduct of how bulky she gets and everything. You could not tell it was a female, especially because her voice is also modified the bigger she gets.
It's like Trini from Orphan, but intentional.
Or the Blue Ranger kid from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Turbo, you know?
Oh yeah,
that's also that also helps too. Yeah. But and her name, if I remember correctly, is Satomi Sony. S-O-N-E. I don't know if it's Tone. It's a comic book. I can't tell you how to pronounce it. It's S-O-N-E for her last name, but Satomi. You find out that I believe she's a substitute teacher, if I remember correctly. She's married to a guy named Owen, but Owen has a gambling problem, and he's basically been spending their money behind her back to the point where when she finds out, they're basically dirt poor about it, and she can't ask her parents and all that stuff because, but people don't. I didn't bring this up yet, but she is of Japanese descent. We don't. I don't believe we see our parents. If we do, forgive me. I had a lot going on this week. So I've been kind of going through the motions, but she kind of doesn't want to bring it up to her parents that, oh yeah, I know I just got married and all that other stuff, or oh yeah, I'm dirt poor now. My husband's a scumbag. But after a while, I believe she waited months. She had this power for months. People don't know the radiant powers. You kind of just find them. Really, they weren't like sent to you or chose you or anything. Most of these people just ran into the powers when they first landed.
Yep.
So her bills are racking up. They can't get food. They can't do all the other stuff. And her husband is like deflecting. It's like, oh, I have a gambling problem, but you don't wash the dishes.
Oh.
It's like not like he don't say that specifically, but that's how he deflects the conversation.
Okay, shifting the blame to someone else. All right.
Yeah. So basically, this eventually kind of breaks her down to the point. Once she does go see her parents, she goes to her house. She gets her own. She goes to her old stuff, and then she remembers the person she used to be, how full of life she was before she married this dude and started going through all these problems.
Oh, good Lord.
And basically, oh, this is the book that Shift is in. I knew Shift was in the second book. I brought this up before the show.
Okay.
There's a character named Shift, and he's probably the only person I dislike because they don't know what to do with him. He's basically Taskmaster without the history.
He's the rental villain in the Massiverse.
Yeah, so he blackmails Satomi into robbing the first bank and to get a share of the money. She robs the first bank successfully, and the second bank is the one where she runs into Radiant Black. But she robs the bank. She goes home. She freaks out her husband, but all he sees is like this super giant buff person with money in her hands, and he's freaking out. And she just powers down and drops the money, and says, "Here, I just solved our problems. Since you were never going to get off your butt to do anything." But she eventually, through fighting Marshall, she gets beat up. And Marshall initially was about to kill her. But people don't know Nathan's like more reserved. He's more basically he's more the thinker, and Marshall's the fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So Marshall's going on like full emotion when he see her. And he almost kills her. He's about to like do the killing blow. And then he just honestly decides not to. Because Radiant Yellow and Radiant Pink, that's their first appearance, shows up to stop.
Ooh.
Because, hey, yo, there's more stuff going on. You can't kill this woman. Or at least you shouldn't. And through her teaming up with Marshall to fight the robots of the what is it called?
Okay. Giant robots.
The
okay.
existence. Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
The robots of existence. I was about to say the collective. I'm so used to like robot like team ups being like so regular. So I was like collective, the hive mind. I was about to make up stuff at some point. But through her fighting with Marshall, she learned that she almost killed Nathan. She didn't know initially. What she did was she knocked him to the building, and the building collapsed. But he had superpowers, so she thought it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know that Nathan, unlike her, Nathan just got his powers. He wasn't actually like trained or anything. Like he had, that was like his third fight, and he almost got murdered.
Mm-hmm.
But through teamed up with Marshall, and Marshall slowly learns to forgive her as they team up. He kind of sways her. Yeah, he's trying to be a writer, and then he wanted to save the person who at the bank you're robbing, and he almost killed him for it. And then I realized I was going to be no better than you if I murdered you for it. And it goes back to her fighting Shift, who shows up, and he wants her to team up with him to beat Radiant Black so he can steal their powers. Shift is the main person who is giving out this experimental tech of absorbing radiance for power. Him and he had two people with him. I believe those are the two people that Kelly killed in your book, but I'll have
Likely
to
is.
reread it to tell you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But all three of them were in it together in Radiant Black. And she and Nathan teamed up, her and Marshall team up to beat up Shift. And then she tells Marshall, I'm going to turn myself in. She goes to see Nathan. She apologizes. Nathan's in a coma because he did die and
Oh.
got brought back, but his soul. Okay, the radiant powers have like an inner universe thing called the existence, where all their powers are connected. Nathan's soul is kind of stuck in there. Once you become a radiant, when you die, you join the collective of the existence. Like everything becomes one. So all are one, in the words of Optimus Prime.
One with
But
the force, one with the radiance.
yeah, once you die, you're not supposed to be able to come back. All this other stuff. But she apologized to him, and she goes to turn herself in to jail. And she actually turns herself in and gets arrested. The world knows she is Radiant Red. Like she confessed everything.
So the villains are coming.
Except for how she got her powers, because no one's gonna believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So the villains are coming. I imagine.
What'd you say?
The villains.
What'd you say, Jake?
The villains are coming. That's what I imagine. Like I would like.
Basically,
Yeah.
she stays in jail until the villain situation comes up, and they're like, "Yeah, so we could keep you in here, but we kind of need your help. We don't want to die." But that's basically the crux of her whole story. Her husband, I believe they get a divorce, and he does stop gambling. I believe he's gonna try to win her back, but as she only has a 5-issue miniseries, you don't really get a lot on that side of stuff.
Yeah.
But she is like strong-willed. She's very independent, but she knows right from wrong. She's willing to do. She was willing to do what she thought needed to be done, only to realize that it was the wrong way of doing things, and she turned herself around. And I want to say, behind Radiant Black, she's probably the most powerful member of the team. Her power is that she absorbs matter and turns it into energy, where she can imagine like Rogue, but like Rogue gets stronger like the Hulk. And then she shape her hands and arms and stuff like Sandman or Clayface. Like that's kind of where her build is going.
Okay, she's the Hulk of the team.
She's definitely the muscle.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I posted pictures, Jake, in our Discord if you want to look at them, see what she looks like and stuff.
Okay. Buff. No one could tell that was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, once you see her normal suit, you can see that she has the breast at the very least. But when she bulks up, she's just huge, and her chest is like straight flat. Like Marshall, when he was beating her, he was mostly doing it because he thought she was a man. He didn't stop, but he's equality to 100%. He didn't stop when he found out she was a woman, but he did oh, you know what? Maybe I'll stop doing the chest punches at the very least.
I feel bad about it, but I still gotta, gotta be evil.
Yeah, you still almost murdered my friend. I at least won't punch you in the titty the whole
time. There you go. But yeah, I mean, it's just like another interesting character. I mean, what she had to do in her personal life is something that a lot of people would want to do as well, given her situation with her husband and the financial crisis.
Yeah, you'll be surprised how many people will just casually tell you, if I got superpowers, I'll just immediately break the law. At least she had a reason to do so.
Yeah.
Also, she was kind of blackmailed into it by Shift as well. It was just oh yeah, I got power before. I guess I'll rob a bank.
Mm-hmm.
But then your weekly Batman villain or Spider-Man villain who just got, I want to be a like Mysterio. I wanted to be famous with movies, but that didn't work out. Guess I'll be a supervillain.
Dang it, I wanted my husband to stop with the gambling bills and work his ass off, but here we are. Gotta bring home the money.
It got bad. Like he ran through his account, and then he ran through her account,
Oh,
and then he ran through her secret account. She had a secret account for when, even though she's a substitute teacher, she was still still gonna go back to college, get her master's degree or something, I believe.
mhm.
And he ran through all that money too, without telling her.
And it took her this long to file for divorce.
No, to be fair, she didn't find out that until like right before the blackmail situation.
Oh, okay.
She found out about that when she went to go take money out of it to help pay
Mhm.
the bills, and then she found they didn't have money.
Um,
So it was a whole lot in there.
mhm. Yep, which is why we
Funny enough,
wanted
like
to
when I
dedicate
sometimes
a
she
whole.
reminds me of Armor, the way they draw Armor in X-Men comics.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think she's cool. It's just a lot of these people. I feel like by this point they should give these characters another 5 issues.
Mhm.
Her 5 issues basically just her back. For her and Radiant Pink, their 5 issues just like a backstory, and then they kind of
How
show
about
up in Radiant Black sometimes. But that's kind of it.
how about
So if you like the
how
character, you
about
don't really
this?
get a lot from it. You should.
How about this? For like the characters that have only gotten miniseries so far, you just give them one book where they're all teamed up. You get like
Yeah.
Radiant Pink, Radiant Red, and who else has a mini right now? Who else had a mini? I forgot who.
No one.
You call
No.
them the Radiant Rainbow. That's the book.
Why? Because of
Or like,
Radiant
or
Pink.
at the very least,
Mm-hmm.
at the very least, put them in the super massive crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even the super massive crossover is just Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, and then Inferno Girl, who's from a whole different universe.
Yeah.
But I think she's great, man. I highly enjoy her. I enjoyed her as a 5 issue miniseries, but like she don't show up enough in like Radiant Black to be like, oh yeah, she's one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Well, let's hope we can see her in a crossover somewhere down the line. Yeah. Any final thoughts?
Don't read this book.
Austin, you there?
Everyone else read this book though.
Okay.
All right. Well, with that, let's move on to the next one, and I'll take this one. We're starting with. It's funny you should. Austin mentions about Radiant Red String of Bad Luck. Well, here's the next character we're talking about. Dead Lucky. Yeah. Dead Lucky, who her real name is Bibiana Lopez Yang. She's half Hispanic and half Asian, right? She's a form.
I was about to say
Yeah.
that thing is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. It does that.
She definitely got mispronounced by everybody in school.
Mm-hmm. And hey, I kind of like it. I kind of like this sort of angle they went to because when it comes to biracial couples, it's always the same thing. It's always a Caucasian person with another minority, but rarely do you see one minority with another minority. So that's why I like what they went with the route they went with this girl. Well, not a girl. She's a combat vet. She's a veteran. She suffers from PTSD, survival guilt. She's lost her whole platoon. She did tours in Afghanistan, and coming back from her tour of duty, right? I would say she's not a Punisher type, but for her, there's no longer a war, but she still has a need to fight something. Like it gives her purpose. I mean, of course, she's coming in for sessions with her therapist to check in, this and that, and she's trying to fit back into society. She's based off in San Francisco. You have this one corporation, I think they're called Marrow, right? they're looking to make this the city of tomorrow, and of course that entails cleaning up the streets. Emphasis on cleaning up, because where Bibiana lives, yeah, it's a pretty rough neighborhood. You have this one group of gangs called the Salvation Gang, who, if you're talking about like a city that's based on that high on tech, even the gangs are upper tier in that department as well. So yeah, yeah. As far as her powers go, she has the power to control electrical currents, but the twist is like they also take the form of the soldiers she lost on combat. Specifically her platoon, and with that, she could also control other electrical machinery with them. So even though they're dead, they're still with her in helping her along her journey. Oh, did I mention
Oh,
she?
so that's what was happening. That was confusing me when I first read it.
Yeah, I know. Like I had to reread that a couple times to kind of get the gist of her powers. Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of these massiverse. Unfortunately, audience, they don't have a wiki, an established wiki. When you could go wiki up like a Marvel or DC character, you get a full list of their powers and abilities. The massiverse characters, not yet, anyway. So yeah, we had to do a lot of researching and looking up, rereading our old books to give you guys a proper summary of these characters.
Have maybe in future books they could add it at the end of I guess volumes, like collected volumes, that could add like their power list or like for these characters.
That will be extremely helpful. Yep. Oh, and speaking of that, during my research on her, on looking more into Dead Lucky, came across the fact that Image Comics on their YouTube channel, they actually made a music video on her.
Oh, is it good?
Oh yeah, you guys should check it out. Steampunk vibes to it. What was it, Austin? Austin?
All right. Well.
Yeah. Oh, I think we lost Austin.
All right. Well, going back to where we were before, huh?
Yeah. Hold a sec.
Hey, don't you do that.
Okay. Austin. Okay, so
I can hear you. You just can't hear me. But
okay.
yeah, I was saying she has a music video. Radiant Black has a OST. He has his main theme, and his main orchestral theme, and then he has actual OST for the first 4 issues, like the first volume, that you can listen to while you read.
Ooh. See how audience, see how serious Image Comics is treating these characters? Give them a chance, Let's show Image Comics these characters are worth all that promotion,
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Dead Lucky, let's see. Did I also mention she has her own mech bot?
No. Is it like
Yeah. No, it's more like you guys remember that robot from RoboCop? The one that made those like raptor or warhog noises?
The big bulky one, like walk with 2 legs.
Yes. Her bot kind of reminds me of that, but yeah.
Jake, did you watch RoboCop's Ultimate in MK11?
No.
I know you didn't see the movie, but I didn't know if you saw like the Ultimate stuff from.
I mean, I saw
Mortal Kombat 11.
I saw in the reboot trailer there was a giant robot or something. So
the trailer. I didn't see the reboot trailer, so I don't know. But if you didn't watch the RoboCop movies, watch his finisher from Mortal Kombat 11, and you'll see the robot we're talking about.
I'll post it you guys in our Discord just so you guys can get a feel to what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see it.
What? And it's in the Discord?
Yeah, in our private Discord on the pics.
One of these days we'll learn how to put it on the actual YouTube screen.
Yeah. Remember, audience, this is our year 1 days of Comic Phanatic, all right? So
wait till we're Batman Year 5.
Yep. But anyway, going back to Dead Lucky, right? Oh, did we lose somebody?
That is the thing from the reboot movie, or at least that's what I remember.
Austin, you're back.
So y'all just gotta stop acknowledging I'm gone, man. I know what it kicks me out because everything just stopped with all sound.
Gotcha. But anyway, going back to Dead Lucky, right? During her latest adventures, right, she did end up having to fight. She did end up finding out that one of her soldiers that she lost in combat, he actually is alive, right? And unfortunately, he's working the bad guys. He, even though they don't state it, he's basically the stand-in as Radiant Orange. He goes by the name of Pyre, who, of course, has fire-based powers too. So that's as far as I'm going to go for story as of the time of this recording. So if you want to check out what happens there, go read up Dead Lucky. You know,
Or you'll be dead unlucky.
as she would say, no matter how good you are, you could always use a little luck or something along those lines. You know,
Especially when you got bills to pay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, she has to work at a restaurant to earn that green, man. You know, it is her also trying to attempt to, go back and live in society, but of course, she can't just sit down. She feels like she has to take action, which is why she had the whole Dead Lucky costume set up. And I gotta say, I like the costume. You definitely get those Dia de los Muertos vibes with her costume, which I like.
Yeah, it has a skull mask over the face piece for people who don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. As far as her presence in the Massiverse, she was in the latest crossover with Radiant Black and Rogue Sun. That's as far as I remember her character expanding from. So I don't think she's involved in Rogue Sun's current book yet. So, all right.
I forgot we didn't cover that book. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have to reread that. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot we didn't cover that crossover.
One of these days we gotta. Yep. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it from Dead Lucky's end. Austin, you could go up next.
Oh God. Oh yeah, no. I forgot. I don't have to do knowing it. Jake, that's our Batman-like character here,
Okay.
and I'm telling you now, that's probably gonna be the worst review on here. Cause that book has so much stuff. But for right now, we're gonna go back to Radiant Black. I don't know if anyone's seen the episode. I want to say it's like episode 7 that we did. It was back when we were still like when our editor was still editing our videos straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But the last we kept left off with Radiant Black, we was in the middle of the Catalyst War, and they had just decided what character was going to be Radiant Black for good. For people who don't know, the main characters of Nathan and Marshall were sharing the power, but the power can be sustained. Only one person can be Radiant Black.
Mm-hmm.
Only he can have the power. Okay, this ain't Transformers.
Yeah.
Not everyone has to touch. But we had a vote on it, and if you go by the results of the vote, I believe Marshall won.
Mm-hmm.
But as I picked up this book today to read everything, they are doing like 1A, 1B when it comes to this story right now. So issue 26 will come out. Issue 26 will have Marshall deal with the problem, and then issue 26.B will come out, and then you'll see, oh, Nathan has the power, and this is how he dealt with that same problem, and it's literally the same issue, but the problems are dealt with different ways. They start off the same, and it kind of ends off in the same place in a way. So I believe Marshall is Radiant Black, like currently.
Yeah.
But for all we know, like I was telling Critter before the show, they could just be trying to see which side sells more, and then that's the person who becomes Radiant Black, and the vote didn't really matter.
Which
Or
sucks.
they're doing, the Nathan as like a bonus thing for the fans of Nathan who lost their vote.
Uh-huh.
But I can't tell you until the Catalyst War is over. All I can tell you now is that the leader, if I remember that was his name, he is here now. He is on Earth with his army, and he's ready to fight. I posted the pictures in Discord, like of a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all can see what I'm talking about. But you can script it. You got to see this guy. He's like a blue flaming demon man, demon radiant man.
I see that, man. He has like this God of War sort of vibe to him, you know? Like,
Yeah, he definitely feels like he's the big thing. It kind of reminds me like when Bill Gates finally shows up in Ben 10.
yes.
And you're like, you know what? Yeah, this guy is the villain. That's him. That's the feel you get. He shows up. He's initially he's just about to wipe the world clean. Like he's not listening to anything. He's about to wipe everything clean. But but Marshall, sorry, with each issue having a different person rated in black, it kind of blowing my mind right now. But Marshall shows up and he challenges him. If Marshall wins, I believe the Radiants are free, and Earth is saved, and I believe the leader dies,
Ooh.
and everyone else the robot just goes home. But obviously, the bad guy wins. He's gonna kill everyone, subjugate the planet, take the Radiants back into his own power, and just kind of do it to the next planet as well. He's just gonna keep going on. But surprisingly, the villain who people don't know, I don't think we brought it up, but I brought up Existence, the inner universe of the Radiants.
Uh-huh.
The Radiants themselves are kind of like giant robots, like that's their Megazords and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So they all speak in this type of robotic speech that humans, while they can understand the words they're saying, the way it's phrased doesn't really come across as human sometimes. And the robot comes out. He challenges Radiant. He challenges the leader. I wish we had a better name for the robot. I don't think we ever got a name besides just Radiant. But if I say the Radiant, I'm talking about the robot. If I say Radiant Black, I'm talking about Marshall.
Got it.
So we'll just leave it like that. The Radiant comes out. Him and the Radiant of the leader, like they do like their heat vision. And then it's like, oh no, what they're doing is having a conversation, and they're setting the terms of the fight. They let Radiant Black pick the location, and he picked the city they're in, which I believe it's Massachusetts. I don't remember. It's somewhere in the middle. But he picked the city because it's already evacuated, and he knows the area pretty well. Compared to because I know a lot of people I saw like, why did he go to like the mountains or something? Like, he has no advantage to the mountains, bro. Let this man fight what he knows. Like, you don't take a street fighter and then throw him to the boxing ring and expect him to like be a fifth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's be that guy. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Oh yeah, unless they can adapt well, which I don't think a Marshall can do, but it wouldn't be at the speed he would need to win this fight if the villain is as big and bad they make him seem to be.
He's gonna look like he's gonna look invincible at the end of every fight he's in, bro.
To be fair, he does not ever look that bad. The only Nathan has got beat that bad. He almost died. It was almost that brother visually. But Marshall's pretty good. Like Marshall has demon timing sometimes. Like I said, when he was fighting Radiant Red, he was going to kill her. He was knocking this lady across like the city. It felt like what if Thor versus Captain Marvel? Like he was spinning this one. Like,
Wow.
So like that's why I voted for Nate. That's why I voted for Marshall. So Marshall's stronger. And you're talking about winning a fight. I'm like, I'm gonna trust the guy with the who had the power longer, who understands the power a little bit more. You know what I mean?
You want to go with the experience
But
over. You want to go with the experience over the newbie.
yeah, because Nathan, while he had the power first, he only had it for like a day, and then he almost died. So you know, the leader decides to break it up into trials. So the first trial, he sent out 100 robots. They start attacking the planet, and I sent you photos so you can see. But Marshall handled this in his own way. He's like flying around. He's using the gravity control to try to crush them. He's throwing them into each other to blow up. He's trying to keep the property damage to a minimum, and he does pretty well. His gravity powers are more like he can make a dome
Mhm.
of like he can make like a shield and stuff, like Invisible Woman type thing with his gravity power as well.
I'm noticing he has like.
So he makes one like that. What?
I was about to say I was noticing that he has like some cape thing going on with his powers.
Yes, that's what I was saying with Radiant Red. Each of the Radiant's powers so far, except for Pink and Yellow, who we haven't seen got pushed to that level yet, seem to have like different degrees of levels with their ability. So if you go by Marshall's, he had the regular Radiant suit with no cape and no eyes. He had the next level where the cape pops up and it's black. Then he goes to like level 3 where the cape goes all white and his eyes are like blazing, like things like Superman, like heat vision went white. Like his eyes like starts like freaking out and stuff. And it looks like kind of like his body's glitching in a way. That's like his level 3 power. So right now he's level 2 fighting the robots. And then a giant one lands. Hell, he's killing all of them. It's hard to describe, but he's killing all the robots. A giant one lands and it starts launching bombs all over the city. So this is the most property damage we got so far in this war.
Mm-hmm.
So Marshall's big plan is he sees the robot. He locks the robot down. He pulls up some train rails and makes like handcuffs and locks the robot to the ground. And then when the robot tries to launch the bombs again, it puts a gravity shield over it. And he tries to hold it for as long as he can. But the explosion of the bombs kills the robot, but it does blows up, makes a huge explosion that he tried to contain. Luckily, no one's left in the city. This isn't Marvel's New York every goddamn day. But it's still like he still feels bad about the property damage. That's kind of where the issue ends. I would go into Nathan does it doing the job, but I don't want to talk about Nathan Radiant Black until I know if it's canon or not. Cause it's kind of blowing me off. It's kind of like taking me out the comic book. Them doing it like this.
Right, right. We'll definitely have a part 2 discussion when all this is said and done, you know?
Yeah, but really, like that, we covered a lot of like 2 issues of Radiant Black in episodes already.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't a lot to really talk about here besides Nathan's old anger issues where he was quick to rise to a temper to fight, and then him learning. You know, sometimes I don't know if y'all seen this meme. I don't think Cryptid has, but there's a meme where it's like learn to sit back and observe. Not everything needs a reaction. That's kind of his path right now when it comes to learn to fighting and everything.
Okay.
Where not everything needs him to immediately go all out and start trying to pummel things to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Some things better just sit and wait and let things see how things work out.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to Nathan, who's already kind of cool and collective and trying to figure out the best way to do things. But that leads to hesitation in action, which is how he got injured and almost died. Like that, it was really a lot to talk about his character. Like that, we went all in depth in that in a whole nother episode that y'all can go back and watch. But right now we're in the middle of the war, and it's pretty good. We haven't seen the main bad guy fight yet, but based on his appearance and based on how the action scenes and the other issues have been, I believe it's going to be. I won't say it's like invincible level, but I'm that's the standard I kind of see when it comes to some of the fighting. It's not as brutal, but with the way the art design and stuff is, it kind of reaches that level for me.
Hey, well, the past,
If you read the comic, obviously not the cartoon.
yeah. Hey, well, the past two events we discussed here on Comic Fanatic that had war in its title, we definitely need a good war for once.
I, this is at the very least started off better than those. And I think it has better build up than those.
Look at
Since
me.
this will build up into the first issue of Radiant Black.
Look at me saying I want a good war for God's sakes. But nah, as far as characters and their importance in the Massiverse go, Radiant Black, hey, he's the poster child for this whole universe, So, audience, if you want to check out any
Oh
characters,
yeah,
definitely look up Radiant Black because he's cornerstone. He's the Iron Man. He's the Batman.
yeah. Everyone shows up in his book except for Rogue Sun. He shows up in a crossover,
Mm-hmm.
and they're lucky. But everyone else you can find in his book at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Radiant Pink does have a big moment in the war where the last of the people that was in the city was stuck on the bridge, and she managed to teleport the whole bridge like halfway across the country to safety.
Ooh. Okay.
And
Powerful.
I believe I posted that picture. She teleports into a farm, and I kept making jokes to myself that this was Smallville. I just thought it was funny.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing those pictures now. Good for
Yeah,
her.
so that was her big moment. But yeah, she's doing pretty well in this book.
Mm-hmm. Good for her. Good for her. Well, any final thoughts before we move on?
I need to look up confirmation if Marshall is canon or not because I don't know. So I'm hoping it is, and I just didn't waste y'all time by telling y'all his version of the war. But uh, I hope they know what they're doing. So far, it seems like they do.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this is a weird choice to do, but I guess we'll see at the end.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing like some two timeline thing, and then both of them just end up being Radiant Black in the end. I don't know.
Either way, you're gonna have one that's radiant black, and the other one is obviously gonna have to have some other color radiance, won't they?
100% he's coming back like Radiant White.
Okay, yin and the yang. Go for it. Okay. Speaking of duos, let's move on to the next book. And I get this one. It's gonna be my boy Rogue Sun, which is the comic that actually got me invested in the Massiverse. Now, when I mentioned earlier that legacy plays a big part in a lot of the heroes here, Rogue Sun, that's definitely because while some heroes are like, okay, there's only like one or two generations. Rogue Sun is a mantle that's been passed down throughout the centuries. You have one that was around the Egyptian time, you have one that was around medieval time, one that was a Viking, and so on and so forth. Right?
Yeah, from our knowledge, he's technically might be the first hero in this whole universe, and he's the oldest.
Yep. And keep in mind, honestly, like the power comes from an object called the Sunstone, and yeah, whoever wields it becomes a new Rogue Sun. This and that, right? They did something kind of interesting with the start of Rogue Sun because when we talked about crossovers earlier, right? The first crossover was the Supermassive book, which was a crossover of Radiant Black teaming up with Inferno Girl Red and Rogue Sun, and which featured Marcus. They got the bonding. They respected each other as heroes, and shortly after, Rogue Sun gets his book. And of course, you're assuming that it's going to be about Marcus, right? No, Marcus dies in the first issue, like in the first couple pages. And you're like, what the hell? Like,
Huge swerve.
yeah, no one saw that coming. So, anyway, he dies, right? And that's when we're introduced to his son, Dylan. Now, Dylan, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. he's the bully of high school. He's the Flash Thompson, you know, this and that. Hey, you start a
He's
character.
the Jake Tylenol of Phanatic. To be honest,
How you feel about that, Jake? Seeing yourself in comics.
That's right, kids. Even bullies can be heroes too. This is the inclusive generation.
Which is kind of something that Marcus himself even pointed out, like when he was talking to Radiant Black in their first encounter, right? He told Radiant Black, like, "Hey, you think you got it bad? You want to know how I found out my dad was Rogue's son? It's when he came back from a mission drunk and slapped my mom in the face when I was a kid. You know what that taught me?
full costume.
Yeah, full costume. Yeah. You know what that taught me? Even an asshole can still do good in this world because he made something out of himself. Ooh, wow. That's one way of looking at it. But yeah, going into this book, you've come across Dylan, who is the bully of the school and who's actually the son of Marcus. But not just the son, he's the son that Marcus abandoned when he was born. So, well,
He's the Jon Snow of this family for you Game of Thrones people.
there you go. So when Marcus died, of course there was going to be a funeral and there was a will to be read, right? And Mark and Dylan had to be part of it. Now, it's one thing when you find out that your dad left you, right, when you were a baby, but it's another thing to find out that he actually married and had children and another family of his own. Not just that, but he stuck with that family, and his family loved him. So you're like,
You
wow.
you rarely get confirmation that your dad did not love you at all.
Oh yeah, this book just really hammers that in.
In case you were confused, your father hates you. Every part of you. Everything he does.
wait, wait till you guys find out the reason why Marcus, in his will, decided to leave the Sunstone to Dylan instead of his two other children. He has two other children by the names of Ari, and who's a sister, and Brock, who's a younger brother, right? Uh, Brock is almost like the Damian Wayne in this. He feels like he should have been the one to have gone to Sunstone and doesn't know why his their father gave it to Dylan, a kid none of them knew, a kid for all they think of is just another bully. So Dylan's like, you know what, whatever, I'll take this power, and he does a superheroing gig. He actually kind of wants to stick it up to his dad, saying, "Hey, I'll do a better job of being this rogue son than my deadbeat of a dad ever was." And that's when you find out that Marcus, he's now kind of like his Dylan's mentor. His spirit is attached to the Sunstone. So, damn,
If you know Ghost Rider, think about like the spirit that helps them. He's basically that.
there. Yep, exactly as it is. And of course, Dylan, he hates this predicament. He didn't want to have to talk. He didn't want to see that man. He didn't want to talk to him. But unfortunately, he literally can't do anything about it. Like he's just a ghost who's just forever going to be tagging along with him. And Marcus flat out says, I don't really owe you an explanation for why I abandoned you. But hey, you're a rogue son. You have responsibilities, and I'm going to see to it that you fulfill those responsibilities. You know. But first things first.
I would have threw the rock into the water, bro. Don't you tell me you don't owe me explanation. They like, but you got a job to do. I'm gonna leave it to you. I don't have no. I don't owe you this responsibility. I'll give it to your son.
But
You can't even tell me why.
yeah, but in Dylan's eyes, like the sweetest revenge is saying that he's going to be a better rogue son than him. Like some people might want to respond with throwing the stone into the water. Others will want to make that stone even brighter than when it was with the other guy. So
And
But
then
anyway,
Dad's gonna be like, "Congratulations, I made you a better hero." Okay, you don't get that credit.
Yeah. Don't forget, you could have did it without my.
Yeah.
but anyway, but in order to convince Dylan to, agree to have his dad be the mentor, he says, "Look, I need you to do something very important. I need you to find the person that actually killed me. After we find out who did it, then I will disappear from your life forever, Dylan." And Dylan agrees to it. But in the meantime, Marcus is still going to be mentoring, and it's just like a funny. I would say it's funny, but you kind of like the chemistry of, you know, this guy you hate so much, but he's the one who's going to be teaching you how to use your powers, this and that. I mean, there came a point, right, where Dylan had to fight like a werewolf vampire, right? He wasn't doing too good. He was.
What? That sounds cool. I gotta see. I gotta see the design of that.
Oh, wait till you hear this. Dylan wasn't looking too good. The vampire werewolf was getting the upper hand, but that's when Marcus came in and said, "You know what, son, you suck. But if it can help you, just imagine that werewolf vampire is me." And that's when Dylan just goes full ballistic on that pet, on that monster, like just starts brutalizing him. And that's when Marcus is there looking in the background saying, "Yeah, son, you go hold back one or two punches,
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
That man got some nerve.
yep. But this is really a hero's journey. I know there's definitely a lot of douchebags in the family that Dylan and Marcus are in, right? But they try making it work. You try. Dylan eventually does have a turning point moment, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. First off, before I get to that, they do eventually find out who killed Marcus, and it was actually Dylan's mom, who's a bad guy.
Roger, what do you mean? How much of an asshole this guy is?
Yeah, I mean, whoever would have thought your ex-wife would come back to kill you? You know?
Funny enough, if you watch like old like crime TV shows, they usually like the first person they get.
Yep, yep, yep. But yeah, eventually, after finding that out, they eventually defeat her, take her down, this and that. I'm glossing over a lot of things here, audience, because this is definitely a story worth reading. There's a lot of interesting stuff that's happening in this book. So I'm just giving you guys
Yeah, because
Mhm.
the man had to fight his own mom. But that's
Yep.
a whole thing in itself.
Oh, not just that. He had to fight his own. Well, you come to find out that his stepsister, oh, yeah, she was actively working with other bad guys to take the Sunstone away from Dylan. So, yeah.
This is a whole family affair. Everyone gets these hands. This is a
Yeah.
whole family affair.
Yep, yep. But anyway, so, okay. After they took care of the murder mystery, that's when Dylan's like, yeah, okay, now, Marcus, get out here. Like, I don't need you. We already did it. I already filled my end of the agreement. I found out who killed you. Now get out of here. I don't want to see you again. And Marcus is like,
Yeah.
if that's what you want, Dylan. And he disappears. Eventually, his step siblings do try bringing back, what you call, Marcus, because as much as Dylan despises his father, he still needs a mentor figure, someone to train him and coach him. But in doing their ritual with the Sunstone, they end up bringing back like a previous Rogue Son, a medieval knight by the name of Caleb, right? And he treats the Rogue Son gig pretty seriously. He's an actual hero. He's a civil man, this and that. So even though this wasn't Marcus, it's still the next best thing. He, Dylan eventually does have his turning point moment as a character when one of his villains, Hellbent, who was the son of one of the henchmen that Rogue Sun took out, right? Who just wants revenge over Rogue Sun, even if it means signing a deal with the devil, right? So he takes the moniker of Hellbent, even has his own flaming swords, this and that, goes to fight against Rogue Sun during prom night. And unfortunately, Dylan, superheroing gig, it takes a lot of your time, right? So much time that, you can't even do schoolwork. So Dylan has his friends slash bullied victims do his homework for him. Hey, he looks after the kids he picks on. All right, I just want to point that out. Like like there comes this one sweet moment, right, where one of the nerds that he was doing his homework for him, he told him, "Look, prom is coming up. I want you to ask the prettiest girl in school out on a date. Either that, or I'm stuffing you in the locker and giving you a wedgie." And when that kid goes up and asks a girl out and tells her why he's asking her out, the girl's like, "Wait, you think I'm the prettiest girl in the school?"
There you go. Confidence.
Wow.
Oh my god. Accidental Riz.
The Riz
Yeah,
game.
the whiz game. Like, good for you, man. Um, Unfortunately, one of the people even though he's forced to do the homework for Dylan, he still considers Dylan a friend. And during the prom night invasion by Hellbent, one of the kids actually does end up getting killed by being stabbed by Hellbent, which really struck a blow with Dylan. Like, why does a person why, yeah, why does a person like me who, did nothing but pick on others get to live while a guy like him who did nothing but want to help people dies?
Pick on him. Maybe I have less guilt on my conscience.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There you go. I shouldn't.
Well, me and picked on is probably like the best part of his life. Okay, his life at home could have been way worse.
I guess we'll never know. But
Yeah, I mean, there even comes.
Look, I got him a date, bro. The prettiest girl on school. Give me that.
I mean, there even comes a moment after that issue where Dylan actually does go to talk to his mother about that, and about what her son meant to him and everybody in school. I mean, it's a very emotional moment. It was a turning point in Dylan's character where he does want to take the hero gig seriously after this. He doesn't want to see anybody getting hurt or die or anymore. This isn't about like his father anymore. He wants to go straight. But unfortunately, Caleb doesn't see it that way. He sees it as, "Look, Dylan, I know you mean well, but you are far too inexperienced right now for all the challenges that we're going to be facing. So for the time being, I'm taking over your body."
For like how long? Give me a time range. Like,
no, he didn't.
Nah. He said for good.
Oh,
Yes.
Until
This is for the good of the world, Jake.
Yeah, Jake. It'll be like a Superior Spider-Man, but he was like, "No, you're not getting your powers back till I get rid of all the villains in the movie."
Yeah. See, that's not gonna work for me because you're gonna take too long because this is a long running story. So I need you to not.
Yeah. This is kind of also funny because in the Massiverse, they've had two crossover books, right? You have Supermassive, and you had, which was Radiant Black, Inferno Girl, Red, and Rogue Sun, right? Then you had the next crossover event, which was Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, and Dead Lucky, and in neither of them was Dylan present. Like when it came to that crossover, it was still Caleb taking control of Dylan's body.
And funny enough, Radiant Black, who is Marshall, still at this time, talked to Rogue Sun, believing he's Marcus, and he's just confused because now he's like, "Wait, first of all, your voice doesn't sound like your body at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are you? What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
You're a child now." he had no idea what was going on or no idea how to fix it.
Right.
Yeah, it's all so new, you know. But then, afterwards, Dylan, he tries getting his body back, right? There was like there came this one funny moment where, in the midst of fighting this like succubus witch who steals people's souls, like Rogue's son, being controlled by Caleb now, it was fighting him while Dylan is like the ghost in his corner. There came a point where Dylan started realizing that the succubus witch, she can actually see Dylan, and Dylan's like, "Wait, you could see me? Hmm. Okay, Rogue Son's weakness is that
That's not
stone. Rogue Son's weakness is that stone in his chest. Make sure he doesn't fly off. Don't let him grab momentum. Pin him down. Suck his soul." Like, whoa, whoa.
And don't be concerned because when I get my body back, I have to kill you because you know that.
Well, when I get my body back, we'll do like I'll let it slide.
So, and Caleb's like, "Dylan, what the hell, man?"
Dick.
It's honestly great.
But the witch came close to stealing Caleb's soul, but his soul was too fiery for her, and he eventually defeats her, right? And then
They did the Ghost Rider thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, you eat soul, so my soul burns.
Yeah. And then afterwards, after that, Caleb's like, "Well, Dylan, you want to start? You want to explain yourself?"
Yeah,
And then,
you stole my body, asshole. What do you want me to play? I'm mad about it.
Yeah, Dylan's kind of has that same reaction. He's like saying, "Look, I know you're trying to pretend like you're trying to do this for the good of the world, but cut the crap. You've been dead for centuries, and you just want an excuse to have a body back." Well,
yeah, you want to get eat hot dogs and experience modern medicine and stuff, weirdo.
Yeah, and I don't care how long it takes. I'm just going to be the devil on your shoulder until I finally get my body back. And I know there's no way you could get rid of me. And Caleb's like, okay, dude. First off, screw you. That is the last mistake you're going to make because guess what? I do have the power to banish you. So bye. Poof. He banishes Dylan to basically the cemetery of the Rogue Sons. There's this place in the astral planes where all the previous bearers of Rogue Sons.
I like that
go.
I like that every third I'm like, oh, your dad stole your body too, huh? That's crazy.
Which is funny. It's funny you should bring up his dad because guess who was waiting for Dylan out in the astral planes? Dylan is like literally saying, well, I guess he really did banish me. Well, things can't get any worse from here. Oh, do you really think so, son? Oh, that's when his dad's right behind him, ready to. And
well, I swear this book's gonna end with Marcus called him my rogue son.
Oh man! Right as Marcus was about to take out his belt, prepare for the belt of hell, Dylan. Yeah, he didn't really do that, audience.
Can you imagine losing your body and then your dad's ghost said, "You know what? I'm about to beat you, boy. I gave you one job."
Okay, he didn't really take his belt off. I just added that little in for comedic jabs. But to make a long story short, like you find out that a lot of the Rogue Sons were promised that if they captured Dylan, that Caleb would free at least one of them into the human world, right?
Wow, thanks, one of us.
Yeah.
Hey. I don't think the other Rogue Sons realize that by that he means, oh, you can be the ghost I talk to from now on. How about that?
But also keep in mind, like Caleb doesn't want that much competition, I mean, there is only one body after all, so. But as for Caleb, he's down there sulking in a bar after that whole crossover event, right? He's just beginning to realize, dude, nothing really changed since my time. I gave my life to protect this world from chaos, and nobody even remembers my name. And there's always going to be another crisis yet again around the corner.
Yeah.
So,
That's weird. I
hmm
thought that was weird.
hmm
Because like if you have like a mantle that lasts for mystery, they won't know your name. They'll at least know who like Rogue Son is.
yeah,
They'll probably think it's one guy who just never dies. You know what I mean?
yeah. But I guess he's feeling more sad the fact that his arrow as a rogue son was never really written in history. He was just forgotten,
Yeah.
So now he plans to take more of a charge now. Like, look, I'm sorry, free will, people with free will, they had their chance. They're not going to make the right decision. I'm going to be making the right decision for them.
That's crazy.
So now
Oh God.
yep,
Oh God.
yep. So now he went and freed all the villains that Rogue Sun had defeated and captured and, imprisoned in this glass case. They're all free now, and Rogues and Caleb is now even forming a pact with one of his long-standing villains by the name of Morningstar, who is he's almost like an evil archangel. So,
You get it? Because Lucifer Morningstar, the devil, who's a fallen angel.
yep,
That's the reference for people if you didn't know that.
yep, that's it. But what? It's a good book. There's a reason why this book is one of the two or three that are a continuing ongoing series. This is a great ass book.
It's the only other one. It's the only other book other than Radiant Black.
Yep, for good reason.
Is that Lucky? Is that Lucky ongoing?
I think it is, but it's like right now. I think it's on issue 8 or 9 at the time of this recording. hmm
I'll look into it later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
do we have any other books we can go over?
We have one more book, but let's end it here because we already went for an hour and 30 minutes.
yeah,
I'll cover No One next time because then hopefully that book's over
yeah,
and we have all the facts. So I don't have to be guessing and making theories to help y'all understand.
gotcha.
So that works out great.
But
And we'll also have a more in-depth discussion on those crossover issues like the Massiverse and the Supermassive, and I forgot what the other one was named. But yeah,
Both of them called Supermassive. They're just like titled by different years. So Supermassive 2020 and Supermassive 2022.
okay, that's perfect.
But yeah, I guess if you were to sum it up, what do you guys think is the biggest appeal of the Massiverse for you?
Let's see.
The lack of history. Everything's a fresh start. You get to just jump on and have a clear understanding of these characters. There's not a lot of no retcons or anything yet.
Yeah,
it's all just brand new and fresh.
And it's also rich in diversity, and by diversity I mean there are different stories going on. Like you have Rogue Sun that deals with the supernatural stuff. You have Dead Lucky that deals with the street crimes, this stuff. You have what was it called? You have Radiant Pink, who deals with space travel and goofiness and that stuff, and even Infernal Gold Red.
You got No One who is the Batman side. Yeah, like everything's pretty much covered when it comes to genres.
There has to be a book out for anybody who's into comics. Go check out Massiverse. You're bound to find a book that suits your needs.
Like the only thing they're missing is like horror. And I don't really know how you would do like a horror main book in this universe.
Oh, just wait.
But that's about it.
Just wait.
But yeah, leave a like and also comment. What were your thoughts on this discussion? And also, if you've read the Massiverse, tell us your thoughts. What's your Massiverse?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're sick of reading Marvel and DC, give this a shot.
Yeah. Image is putting a lot of investment in this. I mean, for it being its own shared universe, Yeah. They've gotten music videos, they've gotten events, I mean, they
They already got an animation. You can see Radiant Black fight another Image superhero on
Yep.
on YouTube. Just put in
Yep.
Radiant Black versus. It'll come up.
Yep. I mean, hey, come and see what all the hype is about, audience. You know?
Yeah.
Yay.
Jake did.
Yeah.
Yay. Alrighty then. With that, audience, anything you guys want to bring up before we close out?
Go watch it.
Watch Five Nights at Freddy. Watch Five Nights at Freddy.
Watch,
Please.
watch Saw X, the best of the Saw films.
Go back and watch our Spider-Man 2 review or something.
Yay.
Watch our whole content.
Yeah.
Do it.
I even popped up and I wasn't even supposed to be in that episode.
Yeah.
Yay.
Go do that. Go watch our old episodes. Watch them all. Yeah.
So.
See our humble beginnings too. Not just the live videos, but like the original ones when there was an editor that did the editing.
Gotcha. But anyway, audience, with that, wish you goodbye. Bye.